Catch up on all the live shows right here on africatechradio.com.
In case you do not know me, my name is Lilian, and you're listening to Africa Tech Radio. It is time for us to talk on Tech Talk. And this is happening because I find it imperative to have conversations like this when we have events that are shaped, that are planned towards helping humanity. That is how I choose to see it. Because every single year, we have conversations with different people organizing different events for techies. They organize events in order to, help in one way or the other. And every single event has its own different goal. And today we're talking to representatives from Muslim Tech Expo 2024. I'm talking about Abdullah Mumuni, who's a chairman and lead project manager. Hello, Abdullah.
Hello, Lilian. Thank you for having me.
All right. And I also have Hikmah Kola-Mustapha, the Hackathon lead and programs team co-lead. Hello.
Hi, Lilian. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. So last year, we had conversations with the two co-founders of the Muslim Tech Expo, and they told us about their mission, their vision, how they plan to move forward with this event in coming years, amongst others. And I'm just going to start with that because last year, MTE had specific goals for the first expo. So how well would you say that those goals have been met? How do you think you have achieved them? And were there any surprises along the way? Abdullah, do you want to take that?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Lilian. As you said, as at last year, we had a mission. We had some set goals and objectives that we were trying to achieve with the event. The event is like your conventional tech event, right? Where you go, you meet companies, you listen to around just tech. We were very specific about the kind of sessions we're going to have, the kind of speakers we're going to bring on board, right? As the name implies, the Muslim Tech Expo, we are organizing it in a way that we are enabling Muslims, right? Muslims in the tech ecosystem. We are trying to provide a platform where Muslims can thrive, where Muslims can connect with professionals in the field, bridge that gap, basically, right? Bring that environment where people can network with professionals, network with companies, have the opportunity to meet founders that they would normally not have access to, right? Bridging that gap, basically, for ecosystems. I think it is very important to have that enabling environment, basically, both for women, because we also had the Women in Tech series last year, which was a success as well. And this we are planning to as well go bigger, basically, right? Reach a larger audience, a larger set of companies, and bring in more professionals to just, create that community, create that platform where people can come around and get value, basically. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. With every single project, you might start off with one vision in mind and, along the way, you keep evolving. So since last year, how has the vision for Tech Expo changed? What's new or different this time?
I think last year, like every event at its maiden edition, the main aim is to, at least for we understand that there is a minority of Muslims in the tech space. So there's already a low representation of Muslim in the space. So the expo was a point for people to meet, people have access to those kind of things and, build some form of community where they don't necessarily have to feel alone. That is the core of what MT was of last year. As of this year, the plan now is to have made that debut. The plan is to continue being that environment, being that community. We're hoping that in times to come, that instead of having one expo, we have a community that will have events across the year so that, the community actually gets stronger. So it's not just that we're meeting once in a year and that's it. So we're hoping that with this year's episode now, we have things like workshop plans. Hopefully that's something that can take off and can continue. And then, like you also rightly said, for places where there's such a large minority, like for the women, also ensuring that, we're having more women come on board so that, when you see people that look like you, there's a lot more confidence into knowing that, you can do this. And then there are possible options of people that can mentor you.
Okay.
And that's generally how much we've expanded.
That's great. I'll come back to what you said about having other events, throughout the year. But let's talk about the theme now. what are the themes and the topics that's going to be in focus this year? And why do you think they are imperative at this time, at this day and age? And I saw Innovate with Iman. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing it well. But what does that mean for we non-Muslims?
All right. So I think I will just explain what Iman basically means. Iman means faith. In Arabic, it means faith. So innovating with Iman. The theme is innovating with Iman, forging the Muslim tech frontier. So when you say innovating with Iman, it basically means creating solutions, sustainable solutions, but with your beliefs, with faith in mind, right? So you are creating solutions that would have impact across the board. So not just to Muslims, but globally within Nigeria and then within our immediate community, right? So creating solutions that would put Muslims, right, or put tech enthusiasts at a global scale, right? Because we know what our counterparts in other countries and other communities are being able to achieve. So we are trying to, just make that statement here.
Okay, that's amazing, actually. So last year, I was not available for that particular one. I was out of town when this happened. But of course, my team they were there, and I had feedbacks I got, and I found out that I realized that, everything was sold out. Even when I had conversations with the co-founder, was there any pressure to make it better, to make it bigger? Because, if somebody gets an award for one thing, maybe let's say a Nobel Prize, they will have pressure to get another Nobel Prize on something else. So tell me about that.
All right, so let me just take that. So as you rightly said, last year we got sold out, I think twice, right? We got sold out twice. We had to reopen tickets sales because we had a whole lot of requests, people requesting that, they do not want to miss this opportunity, they heard about the opportunity late, they don't want to be left out. But at that point, we were working with numbers, right? We were limited by the hall we were using, so we didn't want to have a situation where people would come around and not be able to, the hall wouldn't be able to adequately accommodate everyone, right? So we had a lot of people comment online, so I'll eventually miss this, what can you guys do for us? People, to the extent that people were actually asking online if there was anybody who wants to resell their tickets at a higher price or something like that. So just that, it felt really amazing, really, to see really eager to attend the event. It's something we expected, but it really blew our minds, right? So it shows that there's the need for it, right? The market is there, right? There are people that are passionate about tech and would like to, interact with other people, network, and we're really, really glad that we could provide that kind of environment.
So let's talk about lessons. What lessons did you learn from last year's event that helped you improve things this year? I mean, I would like Hikmah to say, because you've been smiling, like there are some things you want to let off your chest.
So I think generally from last year, I think the lessons we learned from last year were heavily based on the feedback we got from people that attended. Like he rightly said, at the point of ticket sale, we were ensuring that we're working with numbers in the hall. So if you've noticed our unveiling for this year, the venue has changed because, again, we want to expand capacity. We did also have a bit of sound issues last year. So that was also a huge, so a lot of people gave feedback of not really enjoying the sessions because, they couldn't really hear due to how the numbers were. So that's something that was a huge point of deciding how we're going to do this year's one. So ensuring that the hall was a place that could give people, we have screens so that if you're not even that close, you can see clearly. There was that. Then some people also felt that, they wish that we had a bit more panels touching on certain topics. That has kind of guided what we picked this year. We're trying to ensure that in as much as it is an event for Muslims, we also understand that Muslims are interacting with people in the general space. So we also have put that into consideration that when we're doing our topics and we're doing our sessions, we understand that you are Muslim, yes, but at the core of it, we'd also want to have a point where Muslims can contribute. So I think those are the major lessons from last year, ensuring that our sessions are a lot more streamlined. They were streamlined last year, but we just suggested that, they wanted to hear about this. So we worked with that. And then, just the sound. And then, a lot of people, we had a lot of, I think we have about, if Abdullah can correct me if I'm wrong, I think we had like a 90% positive feedback from last year. So It was so this year the plan was just to I know. So the plan was just to really work on that and ensure that we can maintain the momentum that we seem to have set. I think that's really it.
Okay, so I keep referring to the interview I had last year with the co-founders, because when we were talking about mission and vision for coming years, many of what they said have been consistent, because they talked about, in terms of venue, we are doing this venue this year. Next year will be a bigger venue. And it has been consistent. I had to go check out the venue because I didn't even remember that part until you said that venue. I was like, that was something that was mentioned that last year. And I like the fact that, all the feedbacks has been implemented. It doesn't just fall on deaf ears. Actually, unlike the situation that we're facing in the country. But let's talk about this. You talked about panels, right? So tell me what listeners, what attendees will be, going to get from this. Talk about the things, the panel session. What are they going to be talking about, apart from the general thing?
Okay, let me just take this scene as I'm the one handling the program. So I think the theme for this year, I'm particularly excited. Our theme is Innovating with Iman. Iman is faith. Faith is, I think for a lot of Muslims, our faith is such a huge part of our identity. And, when you're navigating the world that is not necessarily, tech is such a new space. Tech did not exist when my religion was established. When Islam was established, a lot of these things didn't exist. So when we are exploring new spaces, people are always very hesitant because they want to explore these spaces within the rules that the religion has laid. I like to say that Islam is not a restrictive religion. It's just a religion that gives you guidelines to keep you safe. Think of Islam as that big parent, just telling you, what, this thing, I'm not telling you that it is a yes or no all the time. I'm telling you that if you see these signs, if you see these amber red flags, take a chill pill before you move forward. So that was a huge point of this year's theme. So when you're going into things, you want to be sure that you're dotting your I's, you're checking your T's, there's certain things that in as much as they are exciting, as a Muslim, you cannot venture into them. So that's for the main theme. Now coming to the panel sessions, I think one of the closest panel sessions to me for this year is we have something on digital nomadism, remote work.
Can you break that down?
Yeah, so that's something that is really on the rise right now. Everybody wants to work remotely. Everybody is hoping to work with some international firms so that they can get dollars. Economy is not smiling, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
So, and then there's a lot of information out there, but then Nigerians generally are facing a lot of challenges because the way our pay structure is, the representation and the stereotypes that we already have on international space. So this year, I think a good amount, if not all our speakers, are people who are working with multinationals currently. We have one person who makes it his point of contact to bridge the gap between Nigerians and getting remote roles internationally, not just like Nigerian remote roles. Because for a lot of people, when you tell you they want remote roles, we understand that right now in Nigeria, if you want to survive this Tinubu's government, you gotta make dollars, you gotta make pounds, you can't be earning naira. So so that's like the closest panel to me this year. Ensuring that we give people some form of guidelines. The panelists are going to discuss this, ensuring that, okay, you're vetting the companies you're going into, you hear people apply for roles and eventually the role is scamming them. So those kind of things. So I think that
is counterproductive.
Just like that. It is counterproductive. So I think I would say that is the closest panel to my heart.
Okay. It's very close to my heart at this moment too. Okay, and who are the guests we're expecting? I know that some of the panelists will be returning. I saw a video of Fuad. Is it returning this year?
No, Fuad will not. I don't think I have any returning person this year. I think that's something I try to do. I try to ensure that, even with the fact that Muslims are underrepresented, there is something Ibrahim says. Ibrahim always says, no matter what you're looking for, there's got to be a Muslim out there who's doing it.
True.
And that has been a huge guideline to how we've picked speakers this year, how we've picked our sessions, how we've picked our workshops. We're trying to ensure that we're not necessarily calling people from last year because it doesn't want to seem like it is the same faces we keep seeing. Muslim Tech Expo is supposed to be a point where everybody gets a chance to shine. I'm not against bringing returning speakers, but we try to
attend. They should attend.
I don't think we have any returning. They will attend, but they won't speak. So I think all our panelists this year, Abdullah can correct me if you're wrong, but I don't think I have a single returning speaker. We have been able to achieve that. So on this panel, we have this popular guy called Omar Raja. His name is Dawood Suleiman. He's very popular on Twitter. That's literally what he does. Merging you teaching you, mentoring you towards how to get that tech job. We have someone who is a HR person. So this helps you with like your talent recruitment. What is the person expecting? Then we have 2 other people who, for the most part, their track record is remote roles and they haven't relocated.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's kind of the excitement. We have it rolling up. I'm pretty sure sometime before the week runs out or next week, we should have panels with the faces so people can be a lot more jacked. But we're releasing it out. And then, you all stay tuned. And then I hope you love the speakers as much as I have enjoyed compiling them.
Okay. Speaking of stereotypes, you mentioned something about stereotypes. And I just want you to debunk some of the stereotypes that you might have heard about MTE. What have you heard? What have you heard and said, are you talking about our own MTE or another? And tell us if that is, just debunk it.
Interestingly, I can't say I've heard. I think for the most part, I usually have people come to me with questions, not a stereotype.
Okay.
I've had someone, in fact, I still had a colleague challenge me a couple of weeks ago of why I were doing a tech expo and called it Muslim Tech Expo. Was there any reason to make a separation for Muslims? And, how does a non-Muslim feel about this? And I was like, for me, it was the conversation about whether we like it or not. Communities, for the most part, bloom and develop when they have things in common.
True.
For Muslims, for people, especially religious values, for a lot of people, your religious value is a core part of who you are. So that's the same way you have, even when you go to schools or even workplaces, you have Christian associations, you have association based on religion, because it is just easier to gel and connect and relate with someone who has similar core values as you. It's the same reason why if Nigerians relocate, you would most likely see a Nigerian chapter of that thing in the United States.
True.
So it's the same thing. So I wouldn't say it's a stereotype, but I would say that I think this is a thought that has crossed people's minds. It is a question that I have personally been asked, and that has just been my response to it. The goal of MT is to create a community. We know there are a lot of tech people out there. There's a lot of tech communities out there, but we haven't seen anything from Muslims. And, in a people that were already a minority in the space, it was a wonderful way to start. And like Abdullah said, getting someone demands of last year, the numbers from last year made us understand that the demand was definitely there. And then, we have something to match up to, and we hope to rise to the expectations along the line.
There are so many other tech expos out there too.
Exactly. So
Okay.
Abdullah, I don't know, do you have any stereotypes you want to debunk? I personally haven't heard any. I just have questions that I'm tackled with anytime I'm shouting, I'm doing Muslim Tech Expo this year.
Anything you want to add, Abdullah?
Yeah, personally, as she said, mostly it's been questions, clarifications. Okay, I don't know if she mentioned as well, but we are also organizing an hackathon this year, right? We are organizing an hackathon. So just around the theme, you have to innovate, right? That's basically what the hackathon is around. So when the hackathon went out, we had over 60 applicants. And at this stage, we're currently at, we've cut it down to about 10 of them. Right. So, and then we had some partners who, asked people to build on their solutions. Right. For instance, we partnered with Arbitrum, right? It's a blockchain, it's a blockchain technology. I think they asked if we could have people build on their blockchain, right, to get access to a prize pool. So there's that. And then, I think one other misconception I've heard is that can I attend if I'm not a techie, right? I'm not a software developer. I'm designer, I'm not a project manager, I'm not a cybersecurity analyst. Can I attend? Definitely. As Hikmah said, one of the most interesting topics would be addressing is the digital nomadism, right? I don't think there's any field that probably medicine and construction that will not allow you to work remotely, right? But as long as you're working close with technology, you definitely have to. You have to learn how to work remotely. You need to learn how to work with technology. Yeah, basically people just asking, can I attend while not being a techie, while being probably a medical student, probably in economics, probably as a business person, right? So I think that's really the most interesting misconception I've heard. Yeah. Okay.
All right, thank you. I wanted to ask you about the hackathon because when I was mentioning calling your name out, I saw hackathon and I wanted to tell me more about it, but thank you for doing that. Now let's talk about connections and collaborations. Many people go for this event not only to learn, but to connect, to meet future collaborators. Somebody told me, I met my 2 co-founders at an event I attended in 2020 Kokoro. And, those are the exciting things. How do you make sure that these connections and collaborations at the expo, made at the expo, continue After the event, is there any, you mentioned the community, so is there any place you redirect people to continue conversations?
I think for the most part, I wouldn't say that we've actively done anything to continue. But, I also understand we've also been able to create, because I think the event creates a space where people get to talk, people get to network. There are games that tend to engage the audience. And I can almost confidently say that people don't walk in there without getting at least one new friend as you're stepping out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but then we do understand that, life could get busy. So people might not, there might not exactly be a community, like maybe like some kind of Telegram group chat or something. But we do try to ensure that, even that's why the plan is now to ensure that we're not just meeting once a year. Once a year is such a long time for people to catch up. That's why we're exploring the option of maybe having workshops, online panel sessions, just to ensure that there is a continual, exactly, and mixes. So we are considering that in the long term. But as of right now, I don't think we have this infrastructure in place. I will also attribute this to the fact that we're just budding, we're a 2-year-old baby. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we'll stand on our feet well enough.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to add? Because I've come to the end of my questions. Any of you?
Okay, so basically it's just be like, really, it's a great experience, basically. Organizing this kind of event, working with a caliber of people on the team, getting to meet people, getting to meet companies, right? Like, in terms of partnerships and sponsorship, we've met like a lot of companies, right? A lot of people that normally you probably not have access to them. So it's really awesome to know that, okay, we are going to provide this platform where we can connect a person with potential employers, with potential collaborators, right? That's one thing we are really particular about. So the companies we're bringing around, one of our partners just informed us yesterday that they would be looking to employ people, right, at MT, right? They are going to keep some roles open,
nice,
just so they can get resumes and CVs from MT. And then I think just knowing that even though it's just one to like get employed from that, it's really heartwarming to know that, okay, we were a catalyst to this person's career development. We helped to make this happen, basically. So yeah, it's a really awesome experience.
I forgot to ask, is it a free event or is there a fee?
Yeah, it's paid.
How
it's a
much?
paid event. It's a paid event, so it's 5,000 naira. The early bird, it was 4,000 for I think a couple of weeks, but then the early bird closed like ASAP.
Yeah.
People rushed it. So right now it's 5,000.
So the 5,000 naira flat rate. There's no VIP or VVIP. It's just 5K for entrance. Abdullah's frozen.
I think Abdullah is frozen. Yes, there's no VVIP. It's just flat rate entrance because the idea is to get people to mix.
It's a flat rate.
Just have a flat rate.
Like you're a founder, you are the person. Everybody's paying flat rates. You're all sitting on the same.
We are nothing but pencils.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Abdullah. All right, that's fantastic. I like that. Thank you very much, Hikmah and Abdullah, for having a conversation with us. And if you're listening, you can be a part of MTE, Muslim Tech Expo. There are different aspects to it, okay? So just visit the social media accounts to find out more. They are always posting stuff, plenty stuff. So go Muslim Tech Expo and you will see it there. It's glaring. All right? Be a part of it. And if I'm not Muslim, can I come?
Of course. I think for me, I'm even especially more welcoming to things like that because I think it's an avenue for non-Muslims to meet us. I think there's a lot of stereotypes already to Muslims. So I think events like this are good ways to show that, we're people just like you, really. Exactly. We're chill, we're fun, and then we also want to make money. So, of course, you can come. Just pay your tickets, show up, and we're good.
All right. So, whether you're a Muslim, you're not Muslim, whether you're in tech, you're not in tech, if you want to start making money and you're like, I want to be in a remote space and make dollars and I don't know how to start, there are so many panel sessions that can cater to all of your many questions. So visit the event. Just stop by and say hi. Where is the venue again?
Okay, so at High Point Event Center, Ikeja, in the heart of Lagos. I'd like to say it's in the heart of Lagos. High Point Event Center, Ikeja, 9 a.m. You could visit our website to get your tickets, muslimtechexpo.com. We have a lineup of speakers, sponsors, a lot of merch. I think most people come to events, or some people just come to events for merch. So we have a lot of merchandise and swag to give out. And yeah, hopefully we hope to get to see everyone.
There's a hoodie I saw from the last year. I've been eyeing it, but I didn't. It's. I don't know whether it's pride that did not make me just come out and say, "Where's my own hoodie?" You know. So I just said, let me just put it out there. Okay, the date is 29th September 2024. 29th is a Sunday, and it starting at 9 a.m. So you can be a part of it. All right, thank you very much for listening to Africa Tech Radio. My name is Lilian, and you're listening to Tech Talk on this beautiful dial. And I'm sure that we'll have another conversation next year, because next year we are landmark.
Okay, I'm here for it. We manifested it all the way, inshallah.
Exactly. Hikmah, thank you very much. Thank you, Abdullah. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you too, Lilian. It was lovely meeting you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to catch up on all the live shows right here on africatechradio.com.